Couple of things. This guy, Charles Grodin, who most people don't even know, used to have a cable show, and he used to spend most of the cable show either talking about me or maybe Imus sometimes, how horrible we were. And it seemed like his whole thing, he doesn't really have anything to say. And the show went away because it sucked. Mm-hmm. He's an ex-actor. He was an okay actor. He was a fine actor, quite frankly.
Yeah, as long as somebody else was putting words in his mouth, he was okay.
And then his show failed, and I thought we were done with him. But CBS, this company, hired him to be on 60 Minutes 2, which is like he does the Andy Rooney piece at the end of the show. And he even now sounds like Andy Rooney.
Right. He's pretending to be Andy Rooney.
It is the freakiest thing. And I guess he wrote a book that nobody's buying, and now he's going on every talk show, The View, Regis Philbin, everyone. And he just goes on and he talks, evidently, he just talks about me, about how bad I am for this society. And it's a rather lame argument. And if the guy had any balls, which he doesn't, come on this show. You want to sell books? Come on this show and say it to me man to man what you got to say, because I got plenty to say to you, Beaver head. And he goes, all Howard Stern ever says is that I wear a toupee, or, you know.
Like, that's not true.
Yeah, I'm like, well, you know what, dude? Come in here. We'll talk about not only your toupee, but every phony baloney thing you've done in your life. So now he's the host of 60 Minutes. Well, not the host, but the Andy Rooney thing. And you know, I got to tell you something. I'm an Andy Rooney fan. Mm-hmm. Andy Rooney always comes on at the end of 60 Minutes and does that funny piece, and it always makes sense. And you
wait for it. You're like, I got to see what Andy Rooney's going to say today.
Yeah, like he'll do a thing on paper clips, and somehow you'll see the irony in paper.
Right. You'll go, wow, he made that interesting. I didn't think that could work.
So I said to Gary, tape every Charles Grodin 60 Minutes 2 piece. Now this is last night's. I didn't doctor it. It goes nowhere. He has no point.
All right.
He makes no friggin' point. Here we go. You ready?
Tonight, Charles Grodin takes aim at some of the most violent programs on television, the talk shows.
Maybe it's always been like this, but more and more it feels like television, particularly cable TV, is a place you watch people fight. Some shows like Crossfire are conceived with the idea that it's a fight.
As we roll back environmental regulations, as we forget about Superfund,
are you going to give us the arsenic talk again, Peter?
As we give 48 hours to environmentalists to come into the Department of Energy with some kind of plan.
Here's an Arab and an Israeli on Chris Matthews' hardball.
Mr. Arikat, may I ask you a question?
Listen, I did not.
In Ramallah, just a second. In Ramallah, you said that you had 150 people dead. Where are they?
The West Bank for 15 years.
Let me ask you, you said in Ramallah you had dead people.
Occupation. Why don't you get
just the propaganda?
I did not interrupt you.
You get 10 seconds and he gets 10 seconds. You are doing a very lousy propaganda, Mr. Arikat.
Fox's Bill O'Reilly looks like he could start a fight in an empty room.
Is there a state law that says that? I don't think there is.
It's not a state law. It's a federal law that prohibits government from overreaching into private affairs.
But that's your opinion that they overreach.
So we get the idea that I'm just so you know, I'm still here, not asleep. So he's saying people fight on TV. We've seen 900 examples now. So he must be coming up with a point, right?
Right.
Okay. We're waiting for the brilliant mind thing that he's going to make us think about.
I know arguing probably brings higher ratings, but I wish people would debate on television more like this. Is that how you see it? Oh, that's an interesting point of view. Well, here's the way I see it. Tell me what you think of this. I seriously doubt viewers like to watch people talking at the same time. Not only that, but I don't believe that the people arguing are having much fun either. When I had a show on cable television, I did some of it too. Here's former Senator Alan Simpson of Wyoming and I going at it.
I think it's wrong.
And then pretend that's true.
I think that's wrong.
Do you know the point yet?
No.
He's saying he wishes arguing wouldn't be passionate or something. I don't even know what he's saying.
That's wrong. I answered your question. Would you answer mine?
I never enjoyed that.
That's the end?
Yeah, that's it. I never enjoy that. He's trying to sound like Andy Rooney, too. Yeah, I never enjoy that.
I never enjoyed that.
I never enjoy that.
He is an actor. He's
never enjoyed
like
that.
Andy Rooney.
Yeah. He's acting like Andy Rooney. The guy is unoriginal. That's why his show failed. He'll never be a bright... The only reason he talks about me is because he's not a true talent. Mm-hmm. True talents don't sit and worry about an idiot like me.
People's attention.
Real talents don't worry about me. truth talent does. I don't like that.
I never enjoyed that.
I never. He even tries to end it like, so what did you learn? He doesn't like arguing on TV. Okay.
But he contradicts himself. He says, I guess it gets ratings. And then at the end he says, I don't think people like to watch that.
It's just unbelievable. And some guy at 60 Minutes, too, is like, hey, great, Charles Grodin.
They're not even checking his work.
No. It's like, what is entertaining about... Bill O'Reilly might have been entertaining on that, or the guy...
Whoever's screaming there.
Chris Matthews. But what is his point? Okay, people argue on TV. Then he had arguments that were way drawn out so that would pad the piece.
Right. You don't even know what they're arguing about.
I don't like arguing much. Isn't Andy Rooney still alive? Can't we see him 2 times a week? Why do they gotta? Why can Andy Rooney only be on one show? I don't like that much.
Why are they hiring actors to imitate me?
Why do they have a complete imitator right on our own company's time? They got me. Why don't they just hire me for 2 segments?
Why don't they call him Andy Rooney, too?
Andy Rooney should do a segment about, I don't like Charles Grodin much.
But it's 60 Minutes, too, and it's Andy Rooney, too.
Yeah, Andy Rooney light. I wish they had an all Andy Rooney radio station. All Andy Rooney all the time. I never had to wear a toupee. It's really strange, these guys who wear toupees on TV. Do they think that no one notices? Take a look at this picture of Charles Grodin. Looks like a dead beaver on his head.
Does he think that looks real?
I don't think so. I don't think it looks very real, that thing on his head. The late Steve Allen wore a dead squirrel for years. It looked like a raccoon hat. I don't like the raccoon hat much. Coonskin cap, or whatever you call it. I'd have to think that under Charles Grodin's hair, it smells really bad. Talking about all the secretions from his scalp that can't escape, I understand they actually apply that to his head once a week. How's he wash his scalp? If you look closely, you can see the beaver's eyes in the back of his head. Really, look. There it is, a beaver. He's got a beaver head.
I don't like it when the hair looks back at me.
That scares me. I know the head secretes juices. Sometimes I get blackheads and whiteheads in my scalp, but I can squeeze them. What does Charles Grodin do when all that Scotch tape glue and stuff leaks into his brain? I don't like Scotch tape glue on my brain much. I hope that beaver wakes up that's on his head and bites him. Takes a big bite out of his scalp. That'd be funny. I'd like to see that. I don't like toupees much. Hey, that's a good 60 Minutes piece.
Yeah. Just the entire thing on what the hell Charles Grodin's doing on the other one.
I don't like toupees much.
I don't like Charles Grodin much.
I don't like that much.
Yeah, and then instead of clips, he could just show different pictures of Charles Grodin's head.
Yeah, let me write for Andy Rooney.
Come to think of it, I don't like Clifford the Dog movies that much.
Next week, I'll do a piece on Charles Grodin causing vaginosis in women.
Yeah. I think I'll do one of those.
I think I'm going to do that. That's what I think.